Hey guys, Harry Thomas here, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part 2, the second and final part of the sixth official Q&A on my channel. I have the questions for part 2 all written down right here, and I just wanted to add a few extra things that I forgot to mention in part 1 before we begin part 2. I'm so sorry I forgot to mention Frozen 2 on my top 5 favourite animated movies. I may take Frozen 2 over Toy Story 2 on rethinking it. So let's get so let so let's get to the second half of the questions. For the first movie I'm going to see after quarantine, Case asks. Most likely the Mulan remake. As that's supposed to be released in July, I think. Exactly a year after The Lesser King, so I'm not getting my hopes up by any means. What? Why do I love girl power movies but hate the Ghostbusters reboot 2016? Well, other girl power movies do it right, and but the the Ghostbusters remake barely had, well, it had no respect for the original movie. Thankfully, we have Ghostbusters Afterlife this year instead. Uh, what YouTuber do I hate most? Logan Paul is just the most despicable and manipulative YouTuber I've ever seen, period. Thankfully, KSI defeated him in the boxing match last year, but his brother Jake Paul is even worse. Fingers crossed KSI can also defeat him. Uh, and if I could fix a certain movie, how would I properly fix it? I would I would fix The Hobbit: The Battle of the Five Armies by having have it I would not have Alfred so much in the movie. I would have Alfred be out of the movie after the opening with the Master of Lake Town, and I'd include Turiel in the story far more. You know, I'd bring her into Erebor and have her love story with Killy lead to something, and I'd have her develop a friendship with Bilbo, so that would help her feel like one of the more important characters instead of being sidelined. And if I had 3 wishes, what would they be? If I had 3 wishes, I'd wish for world peace and happiness for everybody. I'd wish for my own private cinema, and for, well, a family, a wife, and kids, and my favourite Wizard of Oz character, Dorothy, no competition, and my sister even got to play her in a play once, and that role made Judy Garland a true legend in Hollywood. And my top 5 Family Guy episodes: Stewie kills Lois and Lois kills Stewie. The one where Brian has a girlfriend who he does a run with, and then they sleep together, and she's like, "Oh, Brian, that was incredible." And the everybody's heard about the bird one, and also Life of Brian. That was, God, that episode was emotional. You know, killing off Brian. But thankfully, Vinny the new dog didn't stick around in the show for as long as we feared he was. And Ross and Rachel, or Monica and Chandler from Friends. Sorry, but I'd have to go with Monica and Chandler. Unpopular opinion, because Monica's just my favourite. How many stars would you rate all Annie movies? I'd rate the first Annie movie 5 stars. The 1999 Annie 3 stars, and the 2014 Annie 2 stars. That one was the most unnecessary. And what do I think of Father of the Bride and its sequel? Father of the Bride is a decent Steve Martin comedy, though I personally like Cheaper by the Dozen better, and its sequel, Father of the Bride 2, was also fun. It's on par with the original, but yeah, it just it was copying Cheaper by the Dozen 2 a little narrative wise, with Steve Martin's daughter giving birth to a son who she would name after her father, and do I prefer Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book or movie? Oh, book for sure. I mean, you can't beat a book written by Roald Dahl, no matter how hard you try. And top five Wizard of Oz scenes. Well, I guess the tornado scene that was the first major special effect on film back in 1939, and the the horse changing colour in the Emerald City were meeting the lion. The lion is my favourite of the three supporting characters. Dorothy meets the final battle in the witch's castle, and Dorothy saying there's no place like home, and how tall are you? Asks Nora. Oh well, love that one. Well, I have no idea, to be honest. I've still yet to get myself measured, but I would estimate I'm around 6 foot. I mean, I inherited my growing genes from my granddad. He was tall, and my favourite snack to enjoy during a movie or TV show, as Angela asks. Well, I already answered my favourite snack to enjoy in a movie. That's popcorn, but my favourite snack to enjoy during a show would be nachos. And my favourite video game from my childhood, that would be the Simpsons game. The movie underwhelmed me, but the game entirely satisfied me. And my favourite games right now, well, yeah, currently my favourite games are the decision-making games. Games that you get to decide where the story goes. They're always the best. And my favourite colour, red. I love that the Gryffindor colour from Harry Potter is red. And have I seen a Dark Crystal? No, sorry, I have no thoughts on Dark Crystal currently. I would need to give it a watch before I can answer that. Favourite movie on Disney Plus? Oh, Stargirl. Stargirl. That movie is just a golden star in its own right. And most hated twist in fiction, that stupid Mandarin twist from Iron Man 3. The movie just went to shit after that twist. And what fictional character would make her the best teacher? I would say Mary Poppins, because she's practically perfect in every way, and just look at how she taught Jane and Michael Banks in Mary Poppins, so she could teach a class no problem. What's your intro theme called? Well, it doesn't have a particular name. I just title it Epic Music. And my favourite YouTuber, Kaylin Nicholson. She is for me the goddess of YouTube, and she is my inspiration on YouTube. And I'm proud to be a member of her fandom on not just YouTube but on Instagram. I draw her on Instagram. If you follow me on there, you will see some of my drawings of her. And my favourite Legend of Korra season, I think the final season tops them all. My favourite Pixar character, Boo from Monsters Inc. She is simply a cutie pie. And Lauren asks, my favourite Harry Potter character. Of the Harry Potter characters, I would say Hermione Granger because they need her cleverness. In fact, Hermione should have been the chosen one instead of Harry. She's a far more compelling character. And my favourite Fantastic Beast character would be Queenie Goldstein. Queenie is just uh, of the four Fantastic Beast leads, Queenie is the sweetest, and she's and she's well, and I can't wait to see uh, what happens to her in the following three movies now that she's sided with Grindelwald in the cliffhanger of Crimes of Grindelwald. I'm sure she won't stay on the dark side forever. I'm sure she will realise that Grindelwald doesn't care about her and change her mind. And my least favourite Harry Potter characters, excluding Umbridge and the Dursleys, well, my least favourite would be Cornelius Fudge. Not only did he unnecessarily put Harry on trial and accuse Harry of lying about Voldemort returning, but he ordered Buckbeak's execution. I'm sorry, he is the most unlikable minister for magic. Period. Thankfully, he was out of office after Order of the Phoenix, and my favourite Harry Potter book and film. Favourite Harry Potter book, Deathly Hallows. Favourite Harry Potter film, Crimes of Grindelwald. But if you don't mean Fantastic Beasts, or just the original 8 Harry Potter films, then I'd go with Deathly Hallows Part 2. And my top 5 favourite Disney movies from 2000 to present: Frozen 2, Dinosaur, Emperor's New Groove, Brother Bear, and Lilo and Stitch. And my favourite season would be fall or autumn, as I'm a fall baby born in October, and Halloween is just the funnest time of the year, and the trees look stunning when they turn to orange. And my most overrated and underrated movies. My most overrated movies would be the Silence of the Lambs, Slumdog Millionaire, Wreck-It Ralph, and Mission Impossible, Jason Bourne. The most underrated movies would be The Golden Compass, Spider-Man 3, Brave, and my favourite Martin Scorsese movie. I think I've just seen one Scorsese movie. That was Silence from 2017. That was a stellar piece of filmmaking from him. And my favourite book. My favourite book would be Catcher by my favourite YouTuber, Kaylin Nicholson, as well as a YouTuber. She's also a author, and Catcher is simply the greatest book I have ever written in my entire life, period. And I can't wait to reread it again, and she confirmed she's working on a sequel. It's going to be a book series. And my favourite reboots are the rebooted Planet of the Apes trilogy, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and the best of that trilogy, War for the Planet of the Apes. And my favourite Paul Verhoeven movie, never seen any of his filmography, so I currently can't answer that. But do I like new school or old school movies? Asks Laura. Old school, I would have to say. Back when, in the days when Hollywood had original concepts for movies instead of just rehashing everything constantly. And Chelsea asks, which Joker is better, Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix? No offense, Heath Ledger, but I'd have to say Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix just made the Joker his own. We need more movies with Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. He should just include him in the DCU, just to forget about Jared Leto. And which Joker movie is better? I'd have to say Joker is slightly better than The Dark Knight overall. And which Brother Bear movie is better, 1 or 2? Oh, 1. The first Brother Bear is 1,000 times better than Brother Bear 2. Uh, the only good thing about Brother Bear 2 was Nisa and her love story with Kenai, but that was it. Am I hyped for the Loki series in 2021? You bet I am. I'm sure it will do him justice after they wasted him in Infinity War and Endgame. And favourite Simpsons character and least favourite Simpsons character. Favourite Simpsons character overall would be Maggie, because she has no lines of dialogue ever, but her scenes stand out more than any other, especially her first word at the end, in the end credits scene of the Simpsons movie, where she goes, "Sequel." My least favourite Simpsons character would be Chief Wiggum. I just think he is the strictest, most unlikable cop in history. He's constantly locking up the Simpsons in jail when they don't even do anything that bad. And my favourite Simpsons episodes would be Homer's Enemy, where Homer makes enemies with Frank Grimes at the power plants, and also Daz Buzz, where Bart and Lisa and their classmates get stranded on a island. It's similar to Lord of the Flies, and also the Treehouse of Horror episodes are some of the best, and my favourite book series, Harry Potter, of course. And do I hate Into the Woods? Yep. Into the Woods is one of the most annoying musicals periods, and the movie especially. That kind of musical is not designed for film. Would I like to go to New Zealand? 100 freaking percent. New Zealand is Middle Earth, and even James Cameron is working on the Avatar sequels there, so why wouldn't I? And favourite live action Nickelodeon show, iCarly. I just think Carly is the true star of Nickelodeon, and the episode where she gets her toe stuck in the tap, or when she's taking a bubble bath, that would be my favourite episode. And my top 6 favourite children's authors: Roald Dahl, Dr. Seuss, Julia Donaldson, and I can't think of any other children's authors, so I just have 3 answers for that question. I'm afraid of, but have I seen Napoleon 1995? Sorry, no. Even though I should, because it was released the year I was born. What do I think of a Babe and Babe in the City? The first Babe is a instant childhood classic, but Babe in the City can go screw itself. And why would you have Babe going to the city after the farm? That just sucks out every bit of charm that the first movie has. My favourite horror movie or TV show. Favourite horror movie would be maybe It Chapter 2 from last year. And my favourite horror TV show would be The Vampire Diaries. Yeah, Elena is just my favourite character in that show, and that show is what Twilight should have been. And my favourite West End musical, aside from The Lion King, Phantom of the Opera, and that's also my granny's favourite musical. And Candy asks, if I was cast in the lead role of a movie, what would it be and what genre? Well, I would love to play an action hero in a fantasy movie. That would be a dream come true. And my favourite lifestyle YouTubers, Alison Bickerstaff. She once worked for Disneyland in Florida, and she is one of the most positive, sweetest and motivational YouTubers I've ever met. so is Renee Amberg. Yeah, and she is also a movie fan. Disney's Dinosaur is one of her favorites, and my have I seen Batman the animated series? Oh yeah, the animated series is the is simply the best Batman show of them all. Uh, and Am I hyped for the Batman? Yes and no. I mean, it depends on uh, uh, who who's directing and how it's going to be executed story wise. I hope it's just not. I hope it's not the origin story of Batman all over again. I hope it's just Batman, and we get more of J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon, because we got a lack of him in Justice League. Uh, yeah, we'll see. And Best actor in the Lion King remake, none. There was no good acting in The Lesser King. And My favorite Batman movies, Justice League, Batman 1989, and Batman Returns, and the Batman Mask of the Phantasm and the Dark Knight trilogy, and my and Peter Jackson's King Kong or Kong Skull Island. Peter Jackson's King Kong buries Kong Skull Island. I mean, the Skull Island in Peter Jackson's King Kong looked a gazillion times more epic than the Skull Island in Kong Skull Island. And have I played any Transformers video games? Yeah, sadly not. Though I would love to play Transformers War for Cybertron one of these days. And Is Michael Bay a bad director? Well, I'm afraid so. Aside from Bad Boys, none of his other movies have been great. Except for the first Transformers. The first Transformers was the only great one of the Transformers movies he directed, but all the others were pieces of fucking shit. Have I Transformers or dinosaur action figures? I have a mini Optimus Prime action figure, and I have a ton of dinosaurs that I collected from childhood. And am I planning to get a job after quarantine? I am planning to get a part-time job until I, just to earn the money that I need, and also, but after that I will work my way up to become the movie director that I aspire to be. And which Marvel character would I be, and why? I would be Spider-Man, because he gets to to go to high school, save New York City, and gets all the ladies. And what's sparked my love for movies? Asks Trice. Seeing the Disney VHS tapes in my childhood, and it's my autism. Occasionally when you have autism, you just know what you want to do for the rest of your life. Did I always know I wanted to do film? Always. I never had any doubts about that. And my favourite genre of movies, fantasy, easily. I just wish I could be taken out of reality and into a far more fun fantasy world, away from all the problems of this world. And am I a book fan? Yeah, a sort of a book fan. It depends on if it's a book I can read non-stop, and if if it's not too long, then I can read it just fine. Which consoles do I play? PS4. Top 5 of favourite games: Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, Skyrim, Until Dawn, and Grand Theft Auto 5. And am I having a good day? Yeah, I'm having an enjoyable day, thank you. And how Ollie Pajak asks, how will my life change within the next few years? I'll be moving into my own home, and I will be getting a part-time job, and I will be well I should hope, I should, fingers crossed, get my driving license and get a car of my own. I should be I should be I should find my special lady and maybe marry within a few years. So yeah, in the next few years I'm going to really take some big steps forward. And the earliest memory I have of the cinema, the first movie I fully sat through at the cinema was The Philosopher's Stone, but before that there was one movie that I just couldn't sit still because I was too young at the time, My Dog Skipper. Yeah, I needed to be taken out of that movie because I just wasn't paying attention and couldn't sit still. I was underage, admittedly. And do you think cinemas will reopen in July? I am confident they will, as more and more people are going back to work now. So I think in June things will slowly return to normality. So I'm sure things will feel like normality even more in July. And would I like a Lego James Bond game of the 5 Daniel Craig movies? Abso-freaking-lutely. That would be one of the best Lego games ever. If I'm sure that game will happen in 2021 when the 5 movies are completed. And do I think No Time to Die will live up to the hype? Well, I am certain it won't disappoint. Because they've had 5 years to work on it. That's more than enough time for them to perfect it. And so yeah, I trust Carrie Fuganara to conclude the Daniel Craig era on a rousing, satisfying note. And my least favourite Lego game. My least favourite overall would be the Lego Indiana Jones 2. The first Lego Indiana Jones with the original trilogy was incredible, but the second game did nothing to improve over it. It was just one extra movie, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So it just felt like the same game all over again, just with one extra bonus feature. My favourite book of all time already answered that. Catcher. Do I think the Avatar sequels will top the original? They are bound to. James Cameron is known for making sequels that dethrone the original Terminator 2 and Aliens. So that should also be the case for the Avatar sequels. And if I could live in any universe of the following: the Wizarding World, Middle Earth, X-Men, Game of Thrones, or Pandora, where would I live? I would live in the Wizarding World overall because it has the most to it. It's just our world only with magic. I've mastered all of the spells from the Wizarding World. So yeah, and magic just adds some simplicity to your life. And I think the MCU will ever top Endgame? Well, I think they have in the past. I mean, I personally like Captain Marvel and Black Panther a little better than Endgame. Sorry, Ollie, but if you're talking about future movies, then maybe Black Widow could top Endgame. I'm not 100% sure. I need to see it first. But you never know. But as for the other future MCU movies, I doubt they will be as ambitious as Endgame. Black Widow's the only one I can see topping it. But have I seen the American Pie movies and would I review them? Oh, I absolutely love the first American Pie, even though they did get progressively worse as they went along. They are guaranteed for a review on this channel. And my favourite comedy, The In-Betweeners. Greatest comedy show of all time. And do I have performing arts skills? Have I done drama? Well, I did do drama back in school, but I didn't take it for GCSE, and I don't see myself being an actor in the future, even though people have complimented me with my impressions, but I see myself more as a director behind the camera, though my sister does do performing arts, so she is far more talented at it than me. And my favourite meal ever would be spaghetti bolognese, and my favourite and least favourite actors and actresses. My favourite actor may be Jay Baruchel, the voice of Hiccup in the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. Least favourite actor would be Jamie Dornan from 50 Shades. My favourite actress would be Gal Gadot, who was Wonder Woman in the DCU, and my least favourite actress would be Dakota Johnson from the 50 Shades trilogy. And my favourite film soundtrack, The Lion King. That is the unbeatable movie soundtrack, not the soundtrack from the remake, the original. And apart from Wreck-It Ralph, what are my most overrated and underrated films ever? Well, I technically already answered that earlier in the video. And my thoughts on Hercules 1997. Hercules 1997 is the most underrated Disney Renaissance movie. That's a movie is hugely epic and heartfelt, and it's far and away the best Hercules movies we have ever gotten. I mean, it's puts both it puts both the Legend of Hercules and Hercules 2014 to freaking shame. It obliterates both of them. And have I ever walked out of a cinema before? Well, I walked out during The Lesser King, no surprise. I walked out during the Dumbo remake, during the Emoji Movie, and during 50 Shades Freeze. I walk out only during the worst of movies. So yeah, and do I see myself having a career as a artist? Because your drawings are awesome. Oh, thanks, Ollie. Well, I would love to get more of my artwork out there. I mean, I have sold some of my calendars that I draw to my closest family members and friends, but yeah, I'd love to get even more of my artwork out there for the future. And why do I use a laptop for my videos? Where did I get that idea? Well, because I have no idea how to use editing software for my videos. It's too complicated for me, and also because using a laptop does make me unique, because I've seen no other YouTuber do that. And also favourite Cartoon Network show, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It sucks that that's no longer running. And how long does it take to make the drawings for my videos? Well, they could take half an hour to an hour at the most, depending on how complex the drawing is, and how long. Why do I give DCU movies higher ratings than MCU movies? Well, because I simply like DC better than Marvel. Though that being said, Captain Marvel was the one time I liked an MCU movie better than a DCU movie, as I rated Captain Marvel slightly higher than Shazam. And what's an app do I continuously use on my phone? iMovie. That's how I edit my videos together. And do I have any goals for this year? Well, to get a new home now, to get back into driving, and I hope to get a part-time job and to return to Pinewood Studios to do more courses there. But my original goals for this year just went out of the window, and also to find love, and what type of music do I listen to, both rock and country and movie soundtracks. And now Jack McCullough asks, thoughts on Doctor Who Series 12? Am I getting tired of Chris Chibnall's bad writing? Series 12 was overall, for the most part, a disappointment. And I wanted to love Jodie Whittaker. I mean, nothing wrong with her. It's just Chris Chibnall's shitty writing that is letting her stories down. He can't write a good story for the life of him. And the Series 12 finale was just the worst for me. I mean, just get Russell T Davies back as head writer already. And my favourite video game, Detroit Become Human, easily. Thoughts on No Time to Die being delayed until November and maybe 2021. Well, I doubt it will be delayed again to 2021, because I'm sure the COVID-19 pandemic should have more or less gone away or be contained by November, and I'm sure things will go back to normal by November. So, but it was disappointing to have No Time to Die pushed back to November, as we still have a few more months to wait until I can see it and review it. But it should be more than worth for that extended wait. Therefore, because everybody's health is more important than a movie, and my favourite Doctor Who story, Stolen Earth and Journey's End, the epic series 4 finale, that story is unspeakably awesome. I mean, it has Davros, it has the Daleks, it has all the companions uniting to save reality itself, and Donna even gets to be part-time Lord, and there are 2 Doctors. What is not to adore about that story? And my favourite food, I've already answered that, strawberries. Will I continue to review Doctor Who Series 3 at some point? Most certainly. I am planning to get back into reviewing Series 3 soon, as my love for Doctor Who is gradually coming back, and my thoughts on Donald Trump and do I think he's treating the coronavirus like a joke? Yeah, he is not handling it so well at all. I mean, how could he open Wisconsin so soon? I think it's too early to open any states in the US. It's because of him that they are struggling so much, and I feel so bad for everybody in the US with him as the leader. I mean, if I think people are regretting voting for him as president now, I'm sure he will be out of office shortly after this. And my thoughts on Boris Johnson. Well, at least Boris Johnson is doing the right thing by gradually and slowly reopening everything, gradually getting things back to normal. He's doing it at the right pace. Donald Trump is just rushing that. And the first thing I'll do when the lockdown is lifted is, well, go and spend more time with my other family members who I haven't been able to in so long. And is Jodie no longer my favourite Doctor? Well, I wouldn't say she's my favourite Doctor now, because she hasn't had the greatest stories. I mean, her her era is supposed to be all about girl power because she's the first female incarnation of the Doctor, but there's barely any girl power to her stories. So I'd say David Tennant is the greatest Doctor. His era was just when Doctor Who was perfect. And Marvel Fanboy asks some extra questions. If I did the Harry Awards back in 2018 2019, and I included Best Original Score and Song for 2017 and 2018 movies, what would I award? I would award a Best Original Score to Wonder Woman for 2017, and I was awards the Friends Are Family song to the Lego Batman movie for Best Original Song, and as for 2018, I would award Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald for Best Original Score, and I would award any song from A Star Is Born Best Original Song because it's Lady Gaga. And my favourite movie trailer, the first ever teaser trailer for How to Train Your Dragon 3: The Hidden World. Can't believe that teaser is 2 years old now. And my favourite scene from Wonder Woman, when in Diana's final battle with Ares, when she says, "It's not about deserve, it's about what you believe, and I believe in love." And favourite scene from Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, when Grindelwald reveals to Credence that his true name is Aurelius Dumbledore, and then Credence just blows up that mountain. And then my most overrated movie of 2019, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, and biggest movie disappointments and surprises. Biggest movie disappointments would be Over the Hedge and the Simpsons movie, but biggest movie surprises would be Puss in Boots. I did not think that movie would be the masterpiece that it was. And favourite scenes in movies, well, just watch my top 5 Lion King moments and that should answer your question. And my top 10 worst movies ever: the Lesser King, Dumbo remake, the 50 Shades trilogy, the Emoji Movie, Norm of the North, and Amazing Spider-Man 2, Garbage Pail Kids, the Aladdin remake, Cats, and Transformers: The Last Night, and a top 10 worst animated movies. Well, I think you already know the Emoji Movie, and Norm of the North, and The Boss Baby, and Cars 2, and Wreck-It Ralph, and Food Fight, and A Troll in Central Park, and Where the Dead Go to Die, and Rattoing, and The Little Panda Fighter would be my top 10 worst. So that was my sit for Q&A on my channel. Thank you all heaps for your truly awesome questions. It was a pleasure to answer every single one of them. And I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. And what were your answers to the questions that I answered? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.